I came into some interesting information recently that I have no idea what to do with, so I'm just gonna leave it here. Did you guys know that emperor penguins can be like 4.5 feet tall? I personally wasn't aware of this, and it was kind of wild to me. And then I found out that there used to be something called the colossal penguin or the mega penguin, which can be like 6'8", 6 feet, 8 inches, the height of professional athletes. Mercury is in my 3rd house, and I'm in my Mercury return, so prepare for all the wild and weird fun facts that I dig up over the next couple of weeks. If I have to know that penguins are oddly tall, then you do too. And to be clear, it's only the emperor penguin that's roughly the height of all the old Italian women in my family. The second largest species of penguin, the king penguin, drastically loses height, much smaller, and it only goes downhill from there. So not all penguins are huge, but some are, and that's mind-blowing enough for me. I make patron content. Subscribe to it if you like astrology. Now on to this week's forecast. We already know that Mercury has sauntered into its place of detrimental dignity as my penguin talk in the beginning. So bear with me if I pronounce things weirder than usual or have other technical issues. I'm bringing up Mercury because it stations retrograde very soon, not this week, but next week. We're going to be feeling the retrograde shadow period more and more as the station date draws near. Patrons, you'll receive your Mercury retrograde guides with all the details about the retrograde and how to navigate it sometime this week, so look for those soon. There's actually quite a bit of astro energy happening this week, and that's why I wanted to remind us all that we're in a Mercury and technically Jupiter retrograde shadow period. There's a lot of energetic shifts happening this week with planetary ingressions, so just know that if you feel a little wonky or like things are jumping around a lot, it's because they are. Let's start with a rundown of the ingressions happening this week and what shifts they're bringing. Mars is leaving its place of domicile dignity in Scorpio on Tuesday and joins Mercury in Sagittarius. This is shifting our ambition from a deeply concentrated and obsessed fuel to a more enthusiastic and passion-inspired fuel. Action and forward momentum are going to require that we be inspired. If we're bored with something, it's likely that we're going to have little interest in continuing to pursue it. It's not like when Mars was in Scorpio and we became obsessed with random things for seemingly no reason. Mars in Sagittarius needs to be inspired, and it does its best work when taking inspired action. I know most of us aren't exactly inspired by the idea of laundry, 9-to-5s, and the mundane things we all have to do to survive, which is why it's important to see where this transit is landing for you and what the inspiration Mars is looking for, what it pertains to, the realm of your life that it pertains to. Because you don't just have to be, oh my gosh, twinkly-eyed and inspired by life. No. Look where Mars is transiting for you, and then you'll know, like, okay, this is the area of my life that I need to switch gears and find the thing that I'm passionate about. The next ingression happens on Thursday, and it's Venus leaving its place of domicile dignity in Libra and moving into detrimental dignity. Venus ingresses into Scorpio. Even though Mars left and took some of the obsessive, magnetic, detective, intense energy with it, Venus moving into Scorpio soon after it's keeping the theme. We're losing the people-pleasing, harmony-seeking aspects of Venus and Libra, and now we're switching to a more raw and power type of connection. Relationships of all kinds are going to have a desire for closeness and openness. We may be more prone to taking risks within relationships and not being afraid to rock the boat in the name of intimacy. It's a little dramatic, but I'm here for it. I love Scorpio energy of all kinds, so this transit is a welcomed bit of spice, at least for me. Venus's time in Scorpio is about surrendering to emotion and finding beauty in the darker aspects of life. Life, death, and rebirth, we all know that's important to the scorpionic cycle. So having Venus be there means that we're finding beauty, balance, and depth within that cycle. The final ingression of the week is actually from a retrograde planet, Uranus. Uranus has been retrograde in Gemini since September, and now it's finally dipping back into Taurus. This is important because collectively, we're refocusing on an older issue. Something is coming up again within the realm of Taurus if you're looking personally. If you're looking at this from a worldview perspective, issues with Taurian ideals are going to be rehashed. This includes things like money, security, agriculture, the economy, anything that has to do with foundational rules or laws. I'm not a mundane astrologer, but Uranus dipping back into Taurus, it does feel important, so I wanted to mention it. I would definitely see where it lands for you personally and what realm it's going to be digging up old issues in. Patrons, I've done this for you in your weekly horoscopes, so don't fret. This Uranus in Taurus cycle, it started all the way back at the end of 2018 to early 2019, depending on when you count it, because of retrograde action. But basically, the beginning of 2019, around there. So this is pre-pandemic energy that we're closing out. This is the last time Uranus is going to dip back into Taurus for a really long time. It's been there for 7-ish years, so try to see how this area of your life has been revamped since 2019, and now how you're going to move forward in that energy and in that realm of life present day. Now that we covered all the big shifts for the week, let's talk about what we can expect in a more immediate or general sense. Because those ingressions and the energy they usher in, they last longer than just this week. I know you probably know that, but I wanted to make it clear. Venus is going to be in Scorpio until the end of November. Mars is going to be in Sagittarius until mid-December. Ingressions span longer than the week that I bring them up. The ingression can be jarring because the energy shifts and we have to get used to it. We have to pivot with it. So that's why I always bring up the ingression. But it does last longer than just a week, just to be clear. There's a lunar event this week, luckily not an eclipse because those have closed out for the calendar year. This is going to be a full moon in Taurus on Wednesday. This energy precedes Uranus ingressing back into Taurus by a few days, which means that area of our lives is going to be highlighted and woken up by the time Uranus gets there. Because other than the moon passing through, there hasn't been any planet in Taurus since July. So this area of life is going to get a good dusting off, especially if you don't have any natal planets there, like me. Just with ingressions and the lunar event alone, this week is a big adjustment when it comes to the energy we're being given to work with. Mars is being met by the generational gang as soon as it leaves Scorpio and ingresses into Sagittarius. Right before the ingression, there's a trine with Neptune that might make us a little foolhardy or feel a little overconfident about something that we don't really know what we're doing because we're not seeing things clearly. And then as soon as Mars hits Sagittarius territory, it's met with Uranus and Pluto. We have to be careful about letting our inspiration and excitement get ahead of us. We're already going into the transit with a little confusion or delusion, whether we realize it or not. So we need to just chill. And I know that's hard because Sagittarius has chill in some ways where it's like rip dog, don't care. But other ways it has no chill. Keep the enthusiasm. We love to see the enthusiasm with Mars in Sagittarius. It's super important. But there are things we don't fully understand yet. Details that we need to work out. We can't sustain the enthusiasm off of what we have right now. So we need to just double down on inspiration and have a brainstorm session instead of rushing in to just take action and blow the whole thing up. Like I said, keep the fire lit. Keep it stoked. Keep it happy. But know that we don't quite know what's going on just yet. Don't let inspiration turn to arrogance or ignorance. All week long, Jupiter and Saturn are going to be in a trine. This is thanks to Jupiter stationing shortly after Mercury does. Retrograde guides for that event will also go out late this week. So patrons, you got a lot of content coming your way. I hope you're ready to read. You can also buy the retrograde guide issue as a one-off kind of thing. You do obviously get a better deal if you're a patron, but I understand that's not everyone's bag. So feel free to buy a single issue of the magazine if you're only looking for certain content. This trine between Saturn and Pisces and Jupiter and Cancer is like a meeting of the intuitive mega minds. The two planets of wisdom are coming together and formulating ways to move forward that feel emotionally fulfilling, but also call upon wisdom that we have gained while Saturn has been in Pisces. Jupiter's impending retrograde is going to be part of the reworking of how we engage with and apply our wisdom and expansion within the realm of Cancer, but more on that in a few weeks. Give yourself space and grace as you adjust to the energetic shifts that are happening this week. Mars is going to want to take off like a bat out of hell. Venus is looking to sink deeper into something. And Uranus is going back to dig up old dirt within the realm of Taurus just one last time. Enjoy the week, and I'll meet you back here next time, hopefully with more fun facts about something other than mega penguins. Thank you for tuning into this week's forecast. If you want a more detailed look at what this week's astro weather holds for you personally, go to my website, moonmattersastrology.com, and sign up to receive my zine. You can also find me on Patreon by searching for Moon Matters. The best way to keep up to date with my work or to book a reading with me is to sign up for my mailing list on my website. I'll meet you back here next week, but until next time, later days.